Here's one from Scott in Dallas, Texas. And he says, we love the Hawaiian culture, people, and history. What kind of advice can you give that would allow us to be accepted into the Hawaiian community as seamlessly as possible? Various volunteering activities in the community and through church come to mind. Are we on the right track? Yeah, Scott, this is a great question, and I think everyone that cares about having a good, healthy, long-term prospect in Hawaii needs to kind of think about this and being accepted. And we've talked about this before on the show in a variety of ways. And I think Dylan actually says it best, which is, it's really up to you to accept the culture. That's the key. It's up to you to accept the culture, and accepting the culture means you're going to become a part of it. It means that you're going to essentially practice it. You're going to let go more of your mainland cultural practices, so to speak, and you're going to embrace and accept and cherish and love the local practices. Essentially, with the way I characterize it is I say you basically have to become Hawaiian. Now, you're not going to be sometimes that's a loaded term. You're not native Hawaiian, but you have to turn Hawaiian in your values. You have to turn Hawaiian in your perspective. You have to turn Hawaiian in the way that you see things. And if you go through that, it'll be fine. And what you said is good. Volunteer, church is good. There's so many nonprofit groups. I've always told people, make sure you get involved. There's so many ways there's beach cleanups. There's a lot of Native Hawaiian groups that do cleaning up and or restoring of Native Hawaiian special places. There's lots of those. Those are the best ways for you to get involved and to meet others and to learn in a real way these cultural values. That's what I would say. Dylan, what's your advice to Scott on how to get accepted? Dylan, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I know we've talked about this in the past, but my simple thing I would add to that is to eliminate back where I came from your vocabulary.
Yeah, we don't do it this way in so-and-so.
Yeah, nothing's more annoying than us being told that we're doing it wrong and you did it better where you came from. Whatever it is, your food, your traffic, your development, your whatever it is. But that's one thing that definitely gets you a bad reputation here is by using the way I did it where I came from. Nobody cares,
right? Nobody cares. And in fact, we don't want to do it the way that you're doing it where you came from. I don't want that, because if I wanted that, I would move there. I don't want that. That's why you moved here. You didn't move here because of it, right? Anyway. Yeah. Scott, like me, you moved to Hawaii decades ago. What would you say? What's the most important things that you learned as far as what it takes to kind of get accepted in Hawaii?
Well, to be accepted, it's more relaxed over here. The lifestyle is more relaxed. It's a healthier place to live, and you have to kind of turn it down from the mainland. It's just coming here and being accepting of, new ways of living and the culture that's here. And it's very easy as long as you're friendly and more relaxed. It's a lot easier. The biggest thing I learned though was I never understood. I always used to wear my slippers into the house when I living in North Carolina. And my girlfriend yelled at me one time when I walked into my own condo back when I first was living on the Big Island wearing my slippers. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "What's the problem? First of all, it's my house. Like, I can do what I want, but why would I do that?" She says, "You know how much dirt's on those shoes that you're wearing? You're dragging that all in the house." And I was like, wow, that totally makes sense. So to this day, I went back to visit my parents in North Carolina after 6 years of being here. Post and beam house, raised up, hardwood floors. It was 20 degrees out, and I walked across from the guest house, left my slippers, walked inside. My feet were freezing. I said, "Mom, man, my feet are freezing." She goes, "Go put on your shoes." I said, "I can't do it." I just couldn't do it. So, that element, you learn different cultural things. You've learned different aspects of living out here, and some of them make more sense than what we were doing on the mainland. So it's mainly being open-minded and friendly. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's I just had an article that got posted on my website a couple of weeks ago about under the title of "Don't Be So Haole," which was to take off your shoes. Never, never, never walk inside shoes. And in fact, I mean, it's a long story, but yeah, thanks guys. That is definitely, well, here, I'll share because we have a few minutes. So one person said, "Oh, I've got they said, I've got a disability, and I have to wear shoes because of my feet. They need some special shoes to kind of, for health reasons, et cetera. And so I thought about that, and my advice was, well, here's what you do. You bring in a second pair of shoes that you could wear that are like house shoes. And what you do when you go to that person's house, you stay at the door, you don't go in yet, and you tell them, oh, give me a minute. I need to put on these other house shoes because my feet, and you sit there right in front, and you take off your outside dirty shoes, and you put on your inside clean house shoes, and then you could walk in the house just fine. Dylan, how would that work if that happened in your house?
That's perfect. And I'm, as Japanese as I am, I actually like wearing house shoes because it's you have tile and hardwood, and the tile's cold, and sometimes with no carpet, things, unless you're mopping every day, I'm really neurotic about my feet feeling dirty, and so you end up picking stuff up. So I actually have house slippers at my house.
See, but you have house slippers.
They don't go outside.
They don't go outside. You have house slippers. You have house slippers. Different story, right? There's a nuance there. So Scott, get some house slippers for when you go see your folks in North Carolina. Bring an extra pair of house slippers. You could wear that and still feel good about it. Cool. So we have another one here from a comment here from Stargazer. Yes, Stargazer, indeed, so true. Hawaiians are the nicest people. It's a great sense of family, great values. I've always, I think the part to me that I've always loved so much is I've loved the Hawaiian value system. I really have, and it's changed my life.